Well, good morning, everybody. I'm Jan Erickson from Stepping Aside, and welcome to today's Esoteric Influences for Sunday, the 12th of July, 2020. I just wanted to update you guys before I get into this, how I've changed this on the blog and also on the newsletter. I've been sending out the Esoteric Influences for the week in the newsletter, and it includes numerology, the rune for each day, where the moon is each day, and then the human design / I Ching influences for the week each day as well. So I've never been really comfortable with the whole thing because I think that you really need to have some kind of daily interaction with it. And so, at least in terms of interpretation. So I think I finally maybe hit on something here that I might be comfortable with going forward. So everything will remain the same, although I'm getting into a little bit more detail in terms of the numbers for the entire month, day, and year. I'm changing that because I end up talking about it that way anyhow. So it doesn't make sense not to include that. So I'm going to do that, and that's in the newsletter, and will also be in each daily one. But then I'm not going to do a weekly one on the blog. I'm going to do daily esoteric influences. I started out doing it that way, but I couldn't find my rhythm with it, and so I went to the whole thing. And I think in doing the weekly one I sort of was able to see it in its entirety, so I figured out how I want to do this, I think, anyway. But anyway, the runes are all there in the newsletter for the week, and the only thing, and so is the moon influences, but the only thing that is not there are the daily stuff for human design. I did whatever. I do have a listing, though, of the active channels, and so you get an overall view, which is probably, I mean, it's almost more important than even the daily stuff, really, that the whole, details of it all. If you get the overall, idea of this is the focus I need to have, then oftentimes that's really all you need. But it's nice to have the other stuff too. So that'll be in today's video, as well as each day's daily influence. So I hope that makes sense. Anyway, just look for it on the blog. It is changing, and but this will still go up on the side panel each day and all of that. So anyway, I hope your day is going well for you. We have finally, someone is coming today to cut our hay. We've gone years and years and years without doing so. You can never find anybody that will cut a small pasture anymore. They don't. It's just become too expensive with gas and repair costs and all of that. It's just become too expensive. If you and usually see where you have the problem is in the baling of it. If you pick up any rocks in the field or anything like that, if there's anything like that, it can cause something to break in the baler. And so that's usually what they're thinking about. It's like, yeah, I'm not doing your field. I don't want to be stuck there. You see what I'm saying? And so then they've got other fields to do, and they're stuck and they can't do anything. And so around here, they were just focusing on the bigger fields, like 10 plus acres maybe. And we just have 5, and not all of that is pasture. So all they're going to cut today is about 3 acres worth. So you can see why normally they don't want to mess with that. But this guy goes around and does these little pastures. And so he stopped by and said, hey, I'm really interested in doing your field. It looks great and all of that. It's got a lot of clover in it. The grass is really thickened up over the last few years since we've been retired and home. We can really focus on irrigating. And so he's been looking at our field for a couple years now, I guess, and finally saw my husband out there and said something to him. And so he called, and he's going to come this afternoon and do that for us. And so by Thursday, they think they'll have it up, and they'll take half. We'll keep half. We'll use it for our chickens. And, it's going to be so cool. I can't wait. Anyway, that's what my day is going to be like. Tomorrow is my first grandchild, It's her third birthday. And then on the 31st, she was born on the 13th, and our grandson was born on the 31st. And he'll be a year. So we have lots of wonderful things happening grandchildren-wise this month. And so Grandma and Grandpa will be sending off presents here on Monday because we didn't get to it before. We were trying to figure out how we were going to do that with the pandemic. And so we finally figured it out. I got some envelopes, some big padded envelopes, and I'm going to send everything in that. And so that should be all right. Then I might not have to go into the post office. That was the big deal. It's like we have it, but it's like, oh my gosh, how do we get it there? Because they're over in the valley. They live in Oregon, but they live in the valley, and we can't go there right now. So it's like, oh gosh, what do we do? So finally, we figured it out. So that's what we're going to do. Anyway. With today being the 12th of July, we're looking at a 7/3/2020 numbers here, which reduces to, 7/12, I should say. I should change that to a 12, but, I should do it on the right computer. So 7/12/2020, which breaks down to 7/3/22. Okay, so we're looking at a 7 energy, a 3 energy, and a 22 energy. So let's take a look at that. Use today's catalytic 3 energy to align your perspective. Allow things to settle, which is the 7 energy, before making any decisions to achieve the greatest effect. And that I'm sort of likening that to the 22, which is the cosmic builder. It's a master number. 11, just remember 11, 33, and 44, any double numbers, but I tend to just stick with 11, 22, and 33. 11 is awakening and illumination. And these are soul archetypes, soul level types of numbers, okay? So 11, again, illumination and awakening. 22, the cosmic builder, so soul, profound manifestation and change. And I mean, isn't that what's happening this year? Lots of profound change that seems to be having a higher vibration of its own that's motivating all of it. And so that's why, soul level change. 33, of course, is Christ consciousness, which is what we all are essentially supposed to be aligning in, raising our frequency, raising our vibration to that Christ consciousness level of awareness and perception. And then from there, we go about our daily lives, transmuting ego into spirit. We don't follow ego. We, set the example for ego so that ego understands the boundaries under which it needs to live. But instead, we've sort of done the opposite, haven't we? Maybe this year we'll fix that. So today we have Isa, the rune of today, the 11th rune of the elder food, the 11th rune of the elder, I'm sorry. Yes, the 11th, is it the 11th rune? Yeah, I believe it is. Yes. Hagalaz is the 9th, Nathis is the 10th, and Isa is the 11th. But it's a Norn rune for the static realm or the present moment. And so basically its meaning is ice, becoming, will contraction or development, alignment in higher self energies, alignment in spirit, focus, concentration, and higher self-consciousness. Okay, again, it's a Norn rune, so it's a goddess rune. And so today we're going to remain aligned in spirit and focus on the present moment. Keep your vibration high, and by all means, keep your ego at bay. This is really a time where when we align in higher self, we understand the way forward. We understand the fundamental truth of things. When ego takes over, though, that just flies right out the window. And so Isa's reminding us today to make sure whatever you're manifesting in terms of the 22 or the 3 energy for today, whatever you're manifesting, make sure it comes from spirit versus ego. The moon today, let's see. The moon is in Aries today, so self-esteem may affect your ability to embark on something new. If your confidence is less today, though, consider gathering more information before you begin. Because with the moon currently in Aries, patience is also required now, both with self and others. Opportunities exist here that you can take advantage of, with that Aries energy. Aries is very motivated, very courageous, very independent-minded, sometimes to its own detriment, but because sometimes they want to power struggle with people. But the issue is don't power struggle with yourself simply because you're unprepared, okay? All of these, because that's what's going to affect your self-esteem today. If you're constantly failing, it's because you're not prepared to be there. You want to be there. You want to move forward on something, a project or a new direction or what have you. But if you don't have all the facts yet, take time to get them, because then you're going to move forward in complete clarity. Otherwise, your self-esteem could be affected. And then it just becomes living up to the self-fulfilling prophecy instead of, getting out of it and actually doing what you need to do to succeed today. So anyway, on to the Human Design I Ching section. Harmony is preferred today as we maintain steady progress toward a unified goal, particularly if a partner's involved, okay? Remain present, focus, respond to challenges by remaining calm amid any disruption, particularly, again, of a partnership nature. Again, with the Aries energy today, you could be wanting to argue with people. And if it's a partner, then, or a relative or a spouse or a family member, close friend, whatever, it could impact the relationship. So just, use the channel of awareness that's active today to inform a self-disciplined approach and try to keep the ego at bay, particularly with a partner. So anyway, it's hard right now, isn't it? We want to assert ourselves. We maybe in ways that are destructive. The simplest explanation of that, the simplest example of it is really the virus. We still have people that don't understand the impact they have when they don't wear a mask around people. I was at the grocery store. We were at the grocery store yesterday, and we had to pick up a few things, and I'm waiting to get into the bread aisle because I need to get some sourdough English muffins. Well, we've got 2 people there in masks. 2 more people come in. I guess they're together. They don't have them. An adult and an adolescent boy. No mask. So we're standing there waiting. And finally they see us and they say, "Oh, do you need to get in here?" I says, "Well, I can't because a couple of you don't have masks on." And so they just kind of, they didn't get mad. They didn't, have anything to say, just kind of looked at me like, and very sheepishly walked out of the aisle and on somewhere else. But masks are required indoors now in shopping, in grocery stores, anywhere right now in Oregon. Just wear them. You could be shedding virus on everyone, and at some point, that's what everyone's going to think. And it's not going to do you any good, see? People are going to say something to you. They will. It's going to embarrass you, okay? Don't do it. Just come in protected. Don't make an issue for anyone to have to deal with, right? Yeah. I don't even know what to say, really. Seriously. So in any event, if you're going to go out and about today, if you have to do that, do so safely. Protect everyone else from a virus you could be shedding by wearing a mask. You don't know if you have it or if you don't until you do. It's really like that. And the last thing we need to do is be harming anyone else, simply because we have an attitude of, "Oh, I don't have to do this. I'm not going to do this." Someone said there was a video. And it always seems to be women anymore. I don't know what it is, but she's like, Americans, it's un-American to cover your face, or Americans don't cover up their faces. I don't know. I don't. How stupid. Anyway, see it for what it is, and just live in truth today. So anyhow, thanks for watching. Check out the blog over at Stepping Aside. This is over there, and will be every single day from now on. So other than in the weekly version, it's going to be daily. So check it out there, and be good to yourself. Be good to one another. Wear a mask if you go out, and blessed be.